What's going on, guys? Agent Jim Shorts coming at you with another video for yins today. Here we are at part 2 of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man Trilogy, and we're gonna check out, is Spider-Man 2 a good movie? So anyway, let's get into... Wait, do you guys hear something? Oh my gosh, that's the ice cream truck. There's important things happening that I have to go take care of real quick. So, I'm out, guys. Hey, Taylor, open the door. The ice cream's here. Tell everyone I'll be out for a little bit, all right? I'm out, so see ya.
And I'm ready to dive into Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. It's Sister Shorts coming at you, ready to analyze, is Spider-Man 2 a good movie? Oh, and this movie's been out for 16 years? So it goes without saying, there will be spoilers in this video. I was there the day Baby Jim Shorts saw this trilogy for the first time, and it turns out that I, too, instantly fell in love with the superhero live-action movie genre that has become hugely popular now, years later. And against popular opinion, I think these movies in this trilogy actually hold up, and Spider-Man 2 is no exception. And just like Agent Jim Shorts, it's not just because of my nostalgia, I promise. Here are 3 reasons why I think these movies still hold up as great stories today. Number 1, it's classic. Can we just take a moment to appreciate the legit sacks of gold coins that Spider-Man and Doc Ock sling around a bank in one of the fight scenes? This is straight up nostalgic comic book stuff straight off the page, and I am here for it. You have to remember, this movie came out long before that whole Disney Marvel movie franchise was on any normal person's radar. Those movies now have entered into such a complex universe where each storyline has built layers and layers on top of previous storylines. There are literal multiple dimensions, foreign galaxies, a host of wild tech, and a never-ending cast of colorful characters. I absolutely love it, but it has become so franchised that each new movie kind of feels like it's trying to outdo the ones before it. Watching Tobey Maguire use a payphone was a surprising breath of fresh air. This movie is just a classic superhero movie. There are no frills. This is just a story of an ordinary guy trying to make it in life while making the world a better place. That's it. That's the tweet. And if that's still not enough for you though, it's still jam-packed with creative action sequences and fight scenes. Peter stops a whole freaking train using only his body and his webs. Doc Ock's invention blows up and kills a bunch of people in full cinematic drama. And there are tons of fight sequences involving some pretty colossal robotic octopus arms, of course. If you're here for the action, it's still there. And if you are still here, just a quick request for you to like and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy this video. You will literally make Agent Jim Shorts' day, and it really does help the channel grow so we can make more videos. And now, on to number 2. Peter Parker needs a therapist. Why does this fact make this movie good? First of all, I just can't get over the number of intensely relatable and important themes about humanity in this movie. Like Agent Jim Shorts said in the first movie review, the emotional intensity of these characters continues to weigh heavily the moment we enter Spider-Man 2. The first scene of this movie jumps right back into the compelling normalcy of Peter's character. He's just a broke college student trying to hold down 2 part-time jobs so he can pay rent. Oh yeah, and on top of that, he feels personally responsible to eradicate crime and save the citizens of New York City on a daily basis. It's fine. Have you ever felt like a normal guy just trying to get by? Have you ever tried really hard to do your best and make everyone happy, but everything you're doing just doesn't feel like enough? Yeah, me too. And guess what? So does this version of Peter Parker. All this empathy is just the base layer of a very human story that's about to unfold in Spider-Man 2. The tension established right off the bat only grows as we discover the intense guilt Peter is still carrying every day. He won't tell MJ how he truly feels in order to protect her. He carries the secret of how his best friend's father died. And worst of all, he still feels immense guilt for his role in Uncle Ben's death. And he can't breathe a word of it to the person he trusts the most, his Aunt May. And to top it all off, all of Peter's problems are painted on the backdrop of Uncle Ben's challenge from the first movie, with great power comes great responsibility. 15 minutes into the movie and I was hit with all of that. Woo! Peter Parker needs a therapist. I'm honestly surprised when people say this movie is nothing but a cheesy or family movie. The whole story is constructed to have you waiting with bated breath, knowing the intensity of Peter's pressure, guilt, and secrets have to break at some point. It's compelling because although not to this level of gravity, I mean, I've been there. Have you ever hung on to a secret or a sense of social pressure because you feared the consequences of being honest? Peter won't get any resolution to his problems until he tells Aunt May about Uncle Ben, until he tells MJ why he can't be with her, or until he tells Harry that he's Spider-Man. But just thinking about how they might react or the other consequences that come with these conversations just makes my chest tighten and my stomach drop, and I am totally engrossed. There will be no relief until he comes to terms with this. There will be no resolution until he chooses to let the people he loves the most know the truth. I think the storyline carries a really real part of life. We can't carry the weight of responsibility, guilt, anxiety, all on our own, and keeping it hidden only makes things worse. In some cases, it might make things so bad our internal life can affect our physical life. And that's exactly what happens to your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Which brings me to number 3, the things in this movie I will never get over. I will never get over the gut wrench of Peter missing Mary Jane's play. If you don't remember this scene, watch it again. It's gonna get you, I promise. Say what you will about it, but this whole lovesick Spider-Man storyline is actually really heart-wrenching and adorable and kind of brilliant. If you've never been heartsick over unrequited love, then maybe you don't feel the same satisfaction that I do as Peter Parker dorkily walks down the streets of New York and the raindrops keep falling on my head montage. So cute. Or the despair I feel when he watches MJ walk away with another man. If you need a quick refresh, what happens is that Peter misses Mary Jane's play because he gets held up with fighting crime. And when she finally tells him she's done being let down with his distance that he's creating between them and that she's dating someone else, Peter's spider powers actually become spotty and he eventually loses them altogether, like as a result of this insane emotional trauma. And I love this idea that if Spider-Man isn't mentally and emotionally okay, not even he is at his best physically. So in the midst of all the action sequences, we get to see Peter hit rock bottom and then slowly build a much healthier and more sustainable life as both Peter and a web-slinging hero. We see this in our villain too. I think it's mainly in Spider-Man 3, and there's more to come on that in Agent Jim Short's next review, but I've heard some criticism of this Spider-Man trilogy's villains over the years. So let's take a brief look at Doc Ock. It's true. He doesn't strike me as very sinister. He only has bad intentions for maybe like a quarter of the movie, considering he's actually a really kind and intelligent person until the brief 24-hour time span that those robot arms take over his brain. I'll admit, this is not wildly compelling for the evil depiction in a true good versus evil fight. His motivation really isn't revenge, and he doesn't seem to wish ill will on anyone else. So who is he battling against? Oh man, like Peter, he's battling against his own inner person. It's his own regret, and dare I say, guilt, that drives him forward. Even Doc Ock's whole storyline revolves around the same human problems. If you're looking for a classic action movie with an intense villain, I get it. This might not be your cup of tea. But as a story, I find these themes and characters really compelling, and I can appreciate that they carried them through the Doc Ock storyline. So while we're all a sucker for a good, family-friendly, web-slinging comedy action thriller, what really keeps bringing me back to this trilogy is the surprisingly powerful and relatable messages that are intertwined in all of the show. Learning how to deal with guilt, understanding the responsibility that comes with a position of power. These are actually really serious concepts that need to be considered for everyone in life if they're wanting to be successful and to make a difference in the world. I don't mean to go all philosophical on like this fun like comic booky channel, but truly I think that that's why these movies captured so much attention and so much heart back in the day. And also, you better say thank you to this trilogy because it paved the way for the Marvel Universe and all of the huge live action superhero movies we all know and love today. Whether you agree with me or not, thanks for making it this far and considering what I have to say and how these movies have impacted me. So now it's your turn. I know that there are tons of opinions on this trilogy, so I want to hear them in the comments. And while you're here, remember to like and subscribe to this channel if you liked the video, because it absolutely makes Agent Jim Short's day. And as his big sister, I feel kind of responsible to make sure that he's doing well and that he's happy. So just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It will also make my day. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to listen to your big sister.